This one will really make your teeth itch. Just a good old boy.
Already up next is the Dukes Review, presented by Holly and Diablo Sport. Season 1, Episode 9, titled Limo One is Missing, written by Paul Savage, directed by Don McDougall, original air date April 6th, 1979, and here's the show preview right here.
They stole the president's car. Oh. Hit it. Keep your eye on her tail. You dumb dipstick.
This one will really make your teeth itch.
Okay, there we are. For those of you who are on YouTube, welcome. We have reviewed all 7 seasons of the Dukes of Hazzard on our audio podcast already, and now we're going through them all again, our favorite ones, right here for you on YouTube. But if you want to go back and listen, just look for all the podcast links below. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, even YouTube Music. They're all out there. I'm Rob Kibbe, longtime automotive podcasting know-it-all. He is Bernie McPartland in his mother's basement, automotive podcasting producer know-it-all. And Justin Cornett, who needs to turn his video on for the first time from his secret dungeon location, is an actual Dukes of Hazzard insider, and he actually knows what cars are. And he secretly is hidden in a hotel right now. Welcome, Core Dog.
Yes, I am here, but the internet is not.
Now, what's interesting, for those of you who are new YouTube viewers, you don't know this, but we have reviewed this episode in audio form not once, not twice, but thrice before. And the last time we did this was before an annual event we do called Holly Mo Party. And at that time, we were looking at Corn Dog's Daisy Duke Edition car, and it's this car right here. This is Corn Dog's Roadrunner. It's actually a 73 Satellite, but you're making it look like a 74 Roadrunner. And this particular episode,
it's a 74. Yeah, it's a 74 model, but it's not a Roadrunner. It's just the Satellite.
This episode of the Dukes is unique, and you're going to have to walk listeners through this because I really don't remember this stuff. When the Dukes of Hazzard started, the General Lee existed, and it was owned by the Duke boys. And Uncle Jesse had a white pickup, and that existed. Daisy Duke, though, did not drive a Jeep. She drove a yellow Roadrunner. And later on, it became a Satellite of a different year, but still wearing this same paint scheme. But it was really inspired off of this car, and that's why you wanted to build a replica. And 2 years ago, you were prepping yours up to finish your replica conversion to bring it to Mo Party, and then life got in the way.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of details in this episode that we will go through, and I think as you've told us back in the audio reviews, unlike every other vehicle on the Dukes, there was really only one Daisy Roadrunner that they was using for filming. There was just one and only one, and maybe that's why they got rid of them. But that's the episode that we're going to review today. Did you all rewatch the episode again? I did. All of it.
I did. I watched it here in my hotel last night.
How about you, Brent?
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I did not get a chance to watch it this week. Sorry.
What?
Come on.
That's fine. All right. Corn Dog, as I so rudely interrupted. And
no, I've seen this. I mean, you said we've reviewed this 3 or 4 times, something like that. And I've watched this episode countless times. And last night I saw something for the first time that I don't remember ever seeing before.
I look forward to hearing about it. All righty, let's dig into it. Here's the IMDb review. When mechanic Cooter Davenport takes the official presidential limousine out for a joyride, he doesn't count on the car developing mechanical failure, especially at the Duke farm. Knowing they could be charged with a federal offense if the limousine is spotted on their farm, the Dukes scramble to return the car before anyone notices. There's a couple details missing there, but that is a very liturgical statement. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. DVD summary, Bern, you'll like this. Leave it to Cooter to drive everyone wild. When government agents drive the U.S. presidential limo through Hazzard and stop at the Boar's Nest, Cooter hotwires the vehicle and sets out on a joyride.
I remember it from last time. That's the basis of the story. Yes,
It's the gist of the DVD.
the gist. Yes, I'm using Kibbe language. Yes.
Here's my summary. A little summary music, Burn. If there was an episode that can combine Nathan Warren with Ben Jones portraying Cooter, this would be it.
Yeah.
Cooter, with skills unknown from God, steals Jimmy Carter's car. Thanks God for the skills and honor to do so, and that's really pretty fun. And that's basically the whole episode. Cooter is overcome by love and steals a car. Bo and Luke get him out of it and give the car back before they all go to prison. But the problem is, Boss Hogg has a chop shop ring, and they want to steal the car. And they do steal the car. So the Dukes have to steal the car from the chop shop to unsteal it. And that means they have to get their cousin Daisy to take her 74 Roadrunner for its last on-screen appearance to the chop shop, where she gives a lesson in manipulation of men using God-given assets. They give the car back, and then what's interesting is 2 years later, the real United States government refits their 1972 presidential Lincoln limo to basically look like this one from the Dukes. It actually happens. We have some historical facts today. We also confirmed that Boss Hogg and Uncle Jesse, they're Democrats. We all knew it. Or maybe we don't know that. I don't know. But what we do know is that they are actually patriots. We get the opening credit jump of the General Lee that will become iconic as Lego Batman. I like this episode. 7 dogs. I like this one. It's a good one. Just curious, CD, what's the new thing that you saw?
When the limo first pulls up to the boar's nest, and they get out and they go inside and take a break. Even during the opening credits, not the credits, but like the I guess it's credits, where they show directed by and this, that, and the other. Outside the boar's nest, you can see the camera tracks laying on the ground as the camera rolls. It's like they look like railroad tracks that the camera.
Oh, the little dolly thing? Yeah.
Yeah. And it rolls on it. But, at the very beginning, it's right there in the foreground. You could see the tracks laid out there on the dirt, and the camera rolls on it and zooms in at the same time as they're zooming into the boar's nest. Never seen it until last night.
I saw a few new things myself, but I will tell you that it starts out like this. Uncle Jesse, who is the family patriarch, refers to these United States. He doesn't say the United States. He says these United States, and it's something that you'd more commonly hear from references from the Civil War. And when Uncle Jesse says it, I don't hear from him saying these United States like a man from the South defending the Confederacy. I hear it from a man who's a patriot who is talking about individual states who are united, who are bound together. These together, and it's very nice. It's an older language. You don't really hear it anymore. And in our modern day and age, we don't really think of states' rights at all. It's not a thing. Yeah. I mean, there's just individual states. We really think of the country. But back then it was a nice way to hear someone who recognized that these United States were bound together, and I did like that. And that's something I'm not sure that I ever really pointed out before or heard before.
It just sounds more patriotic.
It does. It really does, doesn't it? Okay, let's start with the limo. So the limo in the episode is supposed to be, they call it Limo One. And that's not, it's like Air Force One, the president's plane, the president's car. As far as I know, there's no such thing, reference as Limo One. I think it's just called the presidential ride.
Yeah.
The Beast like is what they call it. It's a fan name, the Beast.
Well, the current one is.
Yes.
But it's always been the presidential vehicle. And back in the day, you know how it kind of seems like every 3 years we get a new The Beast? Like it almost seems like every president gets a new vehicle. Well, back then that wasn't the case. The car that Jimmy Carter drove was inherited. It was a 1972 Lincoln limousine, and it was prepared for President Nixon. It was used by President Nixon and Ford and Carter and Reagan and George H.W. Bush. It actually went through all those presidents. It was brand new in 1972, though, so it looked like a 72 Lincoln, which doesn't look like the car that's in this particular episode. In 1981, after the Jimmy Carter era, it was present when Ronald Reagan was shot. A bullet ricocheted off of the quarter panel of the car and into the president. Ronald Reagan got hit by some friendly fire from his own car. Probably one of the shots that was out there. After that event, the car was returned to Ford and modified. And it was given a number of updates, but it also got the front end of a 79 Lincoln. A 79 Lincoln and the vehicle that was used in this episode, which was actually 75, look pretty close. A 72 is quite different looking. So ipso facto, the Dukes actually kind of predicted the future. From some fun stats on that 72, the car, the real one, not the one in the episode. The 1972 presidential limousine left service in 1992 with 40,617 miles on its odometer. It was measured at 10,440 pounds. Now, I don't know what the beast is today. I'm sure it's a lot more than that, but this thing was fortified to the hilt. That thing was built in 1972, and it was 10,000 plus pounds. Pretty interesting. Bern, let's go ahead and start with this. You missed this one, but I think you would have really liked it. This was from the preview.
This one will really make your teeth itch.
This one will really make your teeth itch. That's at the end of the show preview.
It's a great line.
I don't know what that means.
In, I think, anticipation or nervousness, put you on the edge of your seat. In this case, the edge of your insert, I don't know, artificial gums.
I don't believe you. The gist of the episode is this. Jimmy Carter, the former governor of Georgia, is coming back through for some reason. And this is in the state of Georgia here. The Dukes of Hazzard is in Georgia. And there's lots of references to, peanut farmers in this episode, which is kind of fun. And, that's a famous Jimmy Carter reference. But the big thing is that everyone in Georgia is kind of proud of the fact that Jimmy Carter is the president because he's from Georgia, right? He's one of their own. So he's sending his car in advance, as is common custom. That is how the Secret Service operates. The vehicle goes ahead. It meets the president there. The president travels with security and in a secure vehicle. That's how we expect things to be. In this episode, though, they want you to believe that it was driven instead of flown in like a C-141 Hercules or something like that. So it's passing through Hazzard. They stop for gas. Cooter falls in love with the car and steals it because he can't help himself. And then hijinks ensue, and then they got to find a way to get the car back. But by that point, the car has been taken by Boss Hogg's chop shop ring, and they got to go steal it back from a chop shop. That's the gist of the episode. But it's one of these early season episodes. There's no green screen yet. The actors are all still in real cars. When Bo and Luke are driving the General Lee, they get passed by the limo with Cooter driving it. I mean, there's lots of great scenes like that. Besides the fact that I heard what Uncle Jesse said, I don't know that I pulled anything new out of this that I haven't in our numerous other reviews. Have you?
I don't know if we've mentioned this, but after Cooter hotwired it and is driving it down the road, and they show the in-car view from the passenger door looking in at the side of the driver, you can see the keys hanging from the ignition. You can hear them clanking around as he's hitting bumps. But he hotwired it.
That seems like a problem.
Yeah. I mean,
it's almost like he didn't hotwire it at all.
Yeah.
Maybe he did hotwire it, and maybe he stuck the trunk key in the ignition, and it didn't work, and then he had to hotwire it.
I'm starting to think he didn't hotwire it.
Well, no, they could have at least like taking the key ring off so it's not around and clanking on the column. Just put the key in the ignition, nothing else, and it wouldn't have drawn any attention. But whatever.
They didn't do that. This one's easier told through some of the Waylon Jennings overviews. So here's how Waylon introduces the show.
The main road into Hazzard County ain't exactly the Pennsylvania Turnpike, but occasionally it makes up in quality what it lacks in volume. Now, you've heard of Air Force One, the President of the United States private plane. Well, there's also Limo One, his official car. Now, when he goes south for a visit, he sends it ahead so he can use it while he's down there.
Sector 1, this is Limo One. We're almost out of gas, and we could all use some coffee.
Which makes the Boar's Nest the ideal spot for refueling.
And that's the start of the show. And it's pretty well set up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Boss Hogg, once he learns that the car is stolen, definitely wants to return it because he wants to meet Jimmy Carter. He desperately wants to meet Jimmy Carter.
Well, he wants to be the hero of the whole thing.
Bern, you were alive when you were alive enough to know who Jimmy Carter was when he was president, right?
Yes.
Jimmy Carter famously lost his re-election bid in 1980. But he also famously won the election in 1976. What was the mood of Jimmy Carter in the time? Because this episode was set while Jimmy Carter was actually president.
Wow. Rewind. I was in high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we just discussed that. You were a graduate of
not long ago.
79.
Yeah.
But you're a newsman, and I just assumed that in your blood,
I was
even
a
as a high
boy
schooler,
back then.
You were using your crayons and writing down notes and stuff like that.
That's how we cheated back then before the Google. Which, by the way, is funny because the Google is written in crayon colors, and so it's okay for us to use that. The country back then was, as it is today, somewhat troubled. There were demonstrations and there were things going on for different reasons, but we always, Americans, find ourselves at unrest for one reason or another. And this was time where that party won and it was their turn. And we lived through that, and here we are.
How many peanut references were commonplace while Jimmy Carter was president?
It was a time also, I'm glad you brought that up, where it was okay to make fun of things and everybody understood it was just making fun and you could go on. So the peanut references were endless. It was really fun. That was the time you could really do that and it was okay.
Well, then you also had the Billy Beer incident as well.
Billy Beer.
Billy was almost as big a celebrity as his presidential brother. And with the beer and generic everything back then, it was fantastic.
After Cooter steals the limo, the Secret Service guys jump on the motorcycles and the car, and they have this line.
Ben, do you realize if we don't find that limo, we're going to be picking peanuts the rest of our lives? Go!
See, they're going to be picking peanuts if they don't get caught.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before that limo gets caught, they're in the Boar's Nest ordering coffee. And this is not something I remember from our last reviews either. Listen to this. And remember, this was set in 1979 while Jimmy Carter was president.
3 coffees.
Would you like anything else?
Nothing that's on the menu.
Making eyes at Daisy Duke just goes to prove that lusting in the heart ain't necessarily confined to the Oval Office.
Wow.
I missed that.
If this were post JFK or certainly post Clinton, you'd get it. But Jimmy Carter? I don't think of Jimmy Carter as the lust president. No,
maybe he was referencing something else.
It might have been because he and Rosalind were always together. on TV. You know, there was Rosalind, the first lady, was always doing something. She was getting screen time as well. So I don't remember any big scandal. Not that I was paying hardly any attention to it, but I don't remember that.
Okay. When Cooter comes out to see the car, he falls in love with it. They do a nice job in the episode. They show the big chrome grille, and they show his reflection in it.
Yeah.
And when Cooter's happy, especially in these early seasons, he blinks his eyes like blink, 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 and he's just so thankful. And he goes and gets in the car, and he's overcome with love of the car, and then he realizes he has gifts to steal. So he opens his pocket knife, and then he looks up at heaven, and he thanks God, like, thank you for the skills you gave me to steal this car.
I mean, he is almost lusting over the car.
He is an
like
LUVE.
That much. Yeah.
And the whole episode centers around Cooter's inability to separate reality from fiction. It just never occurs to him that this is a bad idea. Ever.
No.
And the Duke's job is to get the car back. Now, the bummer about this episode is there's not a lot of generally time in it.
Right.
It's in the episode early on. I was kind of curious at the Boar's Nest when Bo and Luke are leaving early on. They get in the car and it's kind of got that, different set of roll bars in the back. Like you can see them. They're triangular. Which generally is this? Do you know?
That's going to be one of the 68s that were converted over
from Georgia.
One of the Georgia cars. Yeah.
Okay. And you see either that car or one very similar to it do the iconic jump that comes from this episode that will later be used in the opening credits. It's the low shot where they generally just kind of flies overhead. So if you look for those roll bars, you'll see them sitting in there as well.
Yeah, they didn't run that roll bar very often. Mostly just at the very beginning of the series.
The episode does have some other marks. We get Uncle Jesse saying phrases like, there's only one thing worse than a fool, and that's a glutton. Interesting things like that. They go to the chop shop, and we see several cars in there in the chop shop, including something that's very easy to point out. Corndog, do you know what I'm talking about? It's black and gold in the chop shop and all blown apart.
I forgot about that. It's a Bandit Trans Am. I don't remember what year it was, though.
It is the Bandit Trans Am, and it is blown apart. And at one point, they throw a bad guy through the windshield, and the steering wheel's still in it.
Yeah.
Pretty easy to point it out. The hero of this episode, car-wise, though, really isn't the limo. It's the Roadrunner. So, Corndog, can you walk people through the uniqueness of a 74 Roadrunner? What makes a Roadrunner in 1974?
Well, 73 and 74 both have, that body style, the different grill and taillights and all. But as far as like a 74 goes, which is what this particular car is, a 74 Roadrunner does not have the vents in the back of the hood. The steering wheel has a really large horn pad on the 74, whereas the 73 has more 3 slender spokes with horn buttons on them. And then the 4 has a seatbelt shoulder belt attached to the inside of the roof structure, whereas the 73 has the belts that they're kind of like the 69 Charger, where it's a single belt that hangs, and then you could either remove it, or I think they might snap into the sun visor mount like on a Charger, but the 74 actually has like a loop where it's a big seatbelt. But yeah, so there's just the one car for all of Georgia, and then it rolled over into the first few episodes in California, and that's this car here, and this is the last time we get to see this car in an episode.
And this is a real Roadrunner. Where's this specific paint package? And then in the next episode, they're going to get like a 71 or a 72 satellite, but it will be wearing this paint package, and it won't say Roadrunner on it anymore or anything like that. You, though, of the two Daisy yellow cars, I think you like this one more, and it is unique. Why did they discontinue it after this episode?
I mean, there's been all kinds of different rumors, but I've never really heard an exact definite answer why. If you think about it, this is in 79, so the 73 and 74 would have only been, about 5 years old, give or take. And so they say that this model was harder to find, but I don't really think that's true. It's really hard to say why it is, but I think the 71 and also 71, 72, they'd never use 72s. They always use 71s. The side markers are a little bit different on a 72 versus a 71. But other than that, the grill's the same. Taillights look the same. Everything is very similar. But for whatever reason, they must have had an overabundance of 71 satellites in the area and used those. But I've never really heard a definite answer as to why. But I did forget to mention earlier that the 73 and 74 Roadrunners, it was basically just a dress-up package. It wasn't anything performance. I mean, you could have gotten a big block in it or a 360, but you could have gotten a 318 two-barrel as well with a Roadrunner package.
And what was this car?
Basically came. That was this car as well. It was a 318 two-barrel automatic. It did have the Sure Grip rear end. It had the rear sway bars. You can see on this particular episode, you could see the Roadrunner had the chrome exhaust tips with little slots in them on the inside of the slots. It looks like a little machine gun or something. It's pretty cool looking exhaust tip, factory exhaust tip. And this particular car had those on it. You see it in this episode. I mean, they're covered in dirt and, just soot from driving it, but it did have those. But yeah, I mean, basically the Roadrunner was nothing more than it got you a V8 and it got you stripes and a cowl hood, not a cowl hood, but the different bulge hood. And that was basically it. Cause insurance company and premiums, they killed the muscle cars of this era.
Did it have a Roadrunner horn?
Prices.
It
did. You hear it in this episode when they're getting out at the hideout where they have to jump out and move the little fake gate. They fold the seat forward, and the headrest actually ends up right on the center of the steering wheel, and you hear the horn for. It's two different times, actually, doing the same thing. They fold the seat forward, and you hear the horn kind of beep just a little bit.
I wonder what old boss is up to anyways.
But that was, actual audio, and it wasn't, dubbed in sound effects or anything.
Shotgun?
You're and for those of us who are younger viewers, the Roadrunner was a cartoon. And if you don't know what that is, Google Bugs Bunny. And if you don't know who Bugs Bunny is, the whole thing is lost. But it was really sweet. They made this whole cartoon package of a Roadrunner in a car. It was awesome. Daisy takes the car to the hideout of the chop shop to lure the bad guys away with her Roadrunner and white shorts. And white shorts work, but so do beguiling words. And I think I have some of what she says in here somewhere. I'm pretty sure that I do. Stand by. Yeah, here it is.
Oh, shucks.
You sure your carburetor's working okay?
Can't say. I don't rightly know which one of these gadgets is the carburetor. Well, it's just no use me trying to fool with this engine. What I need is a man who knows something about these things. Say, how'd you like to step out from behind that silly old gate and give it a go?
Oh, I'd love to, honey. If I was to open that lock, I'd get fired, sure.
Most boys in Hazzard County figure it'd be worth the risk.
What do you think, Bern? Would that work on you? I need a man, someone who knows about these things.
I have a very funny story that goes along with that. At one of the stations I worked at, there was a receptionist who was, she needed a few more aces to have a full deck, let's just say. And I was at the desk talking to her about something, and she came up with this thing that she needed something moved. And she said, quote, "Bernie, I need a man to help me do this. Can you go find someone?"
Oh, man. That cuts deep.
Did you?
I did. I said, I'll be right back.
I'll go get him.
Can I fetch you another water while I'm away? Sure. True story.
Oh,
Wow.
geez. I that was a joke that really worked out. So thankful. The Dukes win the episode. They steal the limo back, and they get it back to the President of the United States. Boss Hogg never gets the credit that he so wantingly sought. And then Uncle Jesse gets a call from Jimmy Carter himself. And it is worth finishing the episode out with this because it really gives you the setting of who the Dukes are and aren't.
Hello. Yes, sir. Hello, Mr. President. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm proud of him, too. Well, I'll tell you, sir, the shape this country's in, you don't want to be having supper with an old moonshiner. Of course, that was a long time ago. Just the invitation was honor enough. Thank you, sir. Bye, Mr. President. That there was the president of these U.S. of A. states.
Uncle Jesse, I can understand you not wanting to go to Washington, but why didn't you invite him over here?
He'd probably bring his family along, and we only got 6 plates, and 2 of them are chipped.
Good night, John Boy. Isn't that a nice way to end the episode? I think the last time we reviewed this, we did this big gag to reveal whether Uncle Jesse was a Democrat or a Republican.
Yeah.
And he's just a patriot. I don't remember how we did in the last episode, but I can't think of a good spin on it here. I think the honor goes to whoever is in the office at the time.
Yeah, I think that's what we agreed on.
Yeah. And
Just showing respect, basically.
Whether you agree with the politics or not, I that is something that I hope will still happen till I'm gone. That whoever's sitting in the office, there is an honor and a dignity that we need to respect, no matter who it is. So, all right, I already gave this about a 7. Corndog, what do you give it?
I give it a 9.
Really?
I've watched this episode numerous times, and there again, I've mostly watched it for the Roadrunner. So it has some really good shots of the Roadrunner, good detail shots, and so yeah, I give it a 9. I still like the early stuff.
You're building this card now, Bern. You're on mute, and you didn't see this episode, so therefore you're qualified to rank it. What do you give it?
I didn't see it this time. I remember watching it the first time when we reviewed it, though, and I was just thinking, did I give it a 7 or did I give it an 8? So I don't go overboard. I'm going to join you at a 7. Good episode. I remember it. Yeah, quite well.
It was fun. It was good. Thank you for sticking with us all the way through this one. Bern, anything before we go?
I will quote the AI overview that says, the phrase, "this will make your teeth itch," is an idiom used to describe, and it says, something that is highly irritating, unsettling, annoying, or bothersome to the point of causing physical discomfort. It suggests a sensation of intense irritation, Similar to a sound or action that sets your teeth on edge. Give several examples. One you'll be familiar with is the fingernails on the chalkboard.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like
that will make your teeth itch.
Yeah, that'll make your teeth itch. All right, everybody. If you like that, hit all of the subscribe buttons for YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and the like. You can find every episode at themusclecarplace.com. Be sure to follow us on social media. We'd follow you, and we probably will. We'll also see you at Patreon, patreon.com/KFshow. Thank you sincerely to Holly for sponsoring this episode. Also to Lexani Tire. Also to Ron Francis Wiring. And also to National Parts Depot. All right, gang. That's it. That's all the sponsors. We're lucky to have them. We're lucky to have you all listening. We'll see you at the High Performance Expo next month. Ha-ha! Zung one more in there. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Later.